5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
You're listening to Potty Mouth Radio, the home of movies, music, television, and comedy. We watch a thing. We watch a thing. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We Watched a Thing. We've got a big one today. We're going to kick it off with a review, and then we'll be joined by great friend of the show, Drew Hallum from Real Feels and Time to Die, to count down our top heist films. How are you doing, Dave?
I'm doing very good. This is a very exciting. I love heist films.
Yes. Well, let's start by talking about Crime 101. Whether or not you define it as a heist film, I guess we'll discuss. A 2026 crime thriller film starring Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Barry Cohen, and Halle Berry, written and directed by Bart Layton, based on the 2020 novella by Don Winslow. And what is it about, Dave?
It's about a thief played by Thor, who we follow as he goes about his jewel heists, and there are disparate parties who come into the story over the course of the film. An insurance investigator, another criminal. You've got Hemsworth's kind of fixer, the guy that or fencer, the guy that gives him jobs and fences his goods. Yep. You've got a cop played by Mark Ruffalo, and all of these various parties come together in various ways over the course of the film, and that's what happens.
Yeah. I liked this movie.
This movie is really fucking good.
Yeah, I had a good, fun time with it. I mean, Halle Berry coming in as like an insurance agent, I think is a really
How
great,
old is she now?
I was trying to think of this.
Fucking smoking.
I can't even think of the last thing I would have seen her in. I feel like she took a break from acting, right?
Swordfish is like 20 years ago, and she was about 30 or something in that. So
Do you remember what a massive deal that was? That she,
and how much she got paid to do that. She is still well fit.
Holy shit, she's older than I thought.
50-something?
59, Dave. 59.
God damn. This gives me so much hope as a 53-year-old that there's still fine-looking females out there.
I forgot that she was in Moonfall. That would have been the last thing I saw her in.
Oh,
2022.
Jesus, yeah, we all blanked that out.
And you, a couple of years ago, saw her in Never Let Go, which you were not a fan of.
Yeah, definitely blanked that shit out. But
no, I think she's great in this film.
She's great. Everyone's great. It's just fucking great.
Plot-wise, I think it's great addition as well, having that, insurance agent kind of angle. I really liked this movie. I don't really have much bad to say about it, to be honest.
I don't have
it's
it.
not an amazing movie.
It's, and I'm kind of, I don't want to say too much because we're going to be talking about heist movies with Drewby in a little bit, but there's a Michael Mann film that is very, very well regarded, which is the first thing that sprang to mind with this.
Yeah, this movie is wanting to be that
This
movie.
is not that.
No.
But I think if that film didn't exist, this would be one of the best of its kind because I think it is very, very good.
I don't mean
it's
the same.
I don't mean.
Let's just say we're talking about
films.
Heat. This movie wants to be Heat.
Yes, it's not as good as Heat, but it's kind of, if Heat's a like 9 or 10 out of 10 across the board, this is like an 8 out of 10 across the board for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think I don't have really any negatives against it. It just didn't hit quite as hard. It's not as masterfully put together as that film. But I think the cast are amazing. I think there's not quite as much character development for Hemsworth character as there is for, say,
definitely.
Pacino and De Niro.
Yeah.
And maybe that's where it falls short is character development.
Yeah.
But I think it is filmed incredibly well. There is some exciting shit in this.
I think I would broadly agree with what you've said. I think plot is very good and very strong. I mean, it's nothing new, but it's an interesting story. It made me interested to go and read the novella that it's based on, because I have a feeling that
I
that
am
would
now.
be
Yeah.
I have a feeling that would be very good, because I do agree. I think for me, where it falls down is the character development in the writing, not just of Hemsworth, but of all the characters. I think.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah, I
The
agree.
character who's probably most fleshed out is Mark Ruffalo's detective.
Yeah.
And there's some great moments that I love when he runs into Halle Berry at yoga, and it's not that he's following her or anything. He's literally just trying yoga out because he's a lonely old divorced man, and she mentioned it recently.
But even for that, if you took out the scene with Jennifer Jason Leigh, who is literally in this for 4 seconds, but if you took out that scene of them in the diner, you would lose all of his backstory about his marriage.
Yes.
And I think he would know. I mean, that's what makes him the most developed, is just that one tiny scene. There's not a lot of character development for any of these guys.
No.
And considering you see Hemsworth on a couple of dates with what's her name from Fubar.
Dates? Would we use the word dates?
Well, they call one of them a date.
He's seeing a prostitute.
No. She's not a prostitute. He meets her and they go on a couple of dates. I don't mean the prostitute from right at the beginning. I mean,
right. Yes.
Yeah. That's what's supposed to give him something outside his kind of solitary career. And I don't know that it's hugely successful in doing that.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of, there might be a strange family. There might be it's not on a par with Pacino's family life or De Niro's existence and dating life. So De Niro's probably the closest equivalent in Heat, and De Niro's couple of dates with what's her name? I'm drawing a blank. Holy shit! Quick, vamp while I IMDb. This is fucking embarrassing. I really love this actress as well.
I do agree with you that I think the acting across the board is really good. I mean, Barry Keoghan has never turned in a bad performance, and this is no exception.
Jesus Christ. When is this guy going to get kind of to the next level? And I know he's a kind of weird-looking dude, but fucking give him something. Jesus
Christ. When I
Christ.
saw that he was in the cast for this, that's the moment that I knew that this movie was actually going to be something, because Hemsworth, Ruffalo, they're all people that I like, but they've made bad movies. And they have made a lot of... I was expecting this to be more of a popcorn movie even until I saw Barry Keoghan's name.
100%, especially considering we were sort of kind of juggling this film and How to Make a Killing as, which one of these new crime big films do we do first, and etc. And I know you enjoyed How to Make a Killing more than me, but that's a fucking popcorn movie. This is, I think
I liked How to Make a Killing more than this.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. But I think this is more of a film.
Yes, this is a much slower movie than I expected it to be. This isn't really fast-paced for a crime movie.
It's trying to be Heat. It's not trying to be a caper. This is trying to be a serious kind of crime heist film like Heat, and it almost gets there, I think. Amy Brenneman is who I was trying to think of. She's the love interest in that one, in Heat. But this is so obviously trying to replicate the magic of Heat, which hasn't really been matched since that film came out. And I don't know, this, as we've said, this doesn't reach those heights, but I think it is one of the best of this kind of film that I've seen in quite a while.
Here's what I will say. This film is obviously a recommend from both of us. Whether or not it's a hard recommend, I don't know, but it's a recommend for sure. And given that this is an Amazon original, I'd say that this will be on streaming fairly soon. So
you would think.
I would say watch this movie.
Oh, 100%. Sure. This is, at this point in time, and it doesn't sound like it might be for you, but at this point in time, this is in my top 10 of the year.
Not for me, but here's what I will say is that Amazon are on a bit of a tear, because I did not even, we're not going to speak about it yet. I think we're probably going to talk about it next week or the week after. I did not know that Project Hail Mary was an Amazon original film.
Oh, fuck, really? Do I not need to spend cinema money on that film?
I suspect you will, because it is going to do so well at the cinema that I do not think they will put it on streaming for a while, even though it's an Amazon film. But I had no idea that it was. So Amazon are on a fucking tear at the moment, because Project Hail Mary is going to make all of the money. So as it should. I'm not going to say too much about it, but it's fucking great.
Oh, everyone's raving. I'm so keen. I have multiple fucking free tickets to fucking go and see shit at the cinema. I just haven't been able to find the time to be actually able to do it.
Go see it at the cinema. You won't feel its runtime. It's nearly 3 hours, and it fucking flies by. I'm going to go see it again. I'm going to see it 3 times.
This is feeling like the big film of the year so far, based on everything I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw a trailer while we were watching it for fucking the new Spider-Man, and I'm just like, just go away, Marvel. Just go away. Go away.
I think we're all kind of in that headspace a little bit. Doomsday, whatever. The trailer for Dune 3 just dropped, and I'm like, no, forget about Doomsday. Give me Dunesday. But back to the topic at hand. I would say Crime 101 is an exceedingly well-made film. Mm-hmm. It falls short a little bit in terms of heart and character development, but the filming is. I did not feel the runtime on this, and it's not a short film, but it is exciting. The action scenes are exciting. Agreed. It has some fantastic, like, car chase things. The film, there are some really amazing sequences in terms of the cinematography. You've got one bit fairly early on, I think, from memory, where you're in the car with Hemsworth, looking at him in profile from the passenger seat. So if you imagine an American car where the driver's on the left, you're in the right-hand seat looking at him in profile, and fuck knows how they did it, but you go out the passenger window, over the bonnet of the car, and into the car next to him, and even with cranes, I can't even envisage how the fuck you would do that. So, and there are multiples. It is beautifully shot. There are some really, really kinetic chase scenes. You've got, there's one bit where Hemsworth's in the car and he's chasing Barry Keoghan on a bike, and the camera work in that scene is fucking fantastic.
I agree. I liked this movie so much more than I expected to. I kind of saw it on a whim because I was near a cinema. I had 2.5 hours to kill while the kid was at drama, and it just happened to be on it at the right time. I wasn't expecting anything from it, really, but I liked this movie a lot. So,
well, thanks to you, because this wasn't even on our fucking schedule. I literally had not even heard about this film, and you happened to have seen it and said, "Oh yeah, we'll throw it in the schedule. It's not shit." So that's the only reason I even saw it, and this is now in my at this early stage in my top films of the year. I really, really.
So it sounds like you're higher than me. Then I'm a 7 out of 10. Where are you? Are you an 8?
Yeah, 8. 8 out of 10. It's definitely in my top 10 so far. I'm sure it'll drop out. We've got some big fucking guns coming later in the year. Dune's obviously going to be in the top 10. And we've got a lot of other good stuff coming down the pipeline. So it probably won't stay there. But at this stage in March, this is one of the best films of the year.
Nice. Well, speaking of good stuff, let's get over to our top 10 heist movies with Drew Hallum from the Real Feels podcast and Time to Die. Well, now over to the main event of the episode. We have a very special guest joining us. It's everybody's favorite Drew Hallum, host of The Real Feels and our dungeon master over on Time to Die, even when we eventually pick that
We're coming back. We're coming back. I have the time now.
Those baby boomers in the audience that were around back in the before times.
Oh, in the old there before. How are you, my friend Drew?
We are doing well. And we're excited for some nefarious deeds and stealing of whatnots.
Yes, because we are, of course, going to count down our top 10 heist movies. I know that you guys both put a lot more effort into this list than I did. I messaged you both at about 7:30 this morning saying I'm starting my list, and I messaged again at about 7:50 saying I'm done. But how did you guys go about making this list?
With a bit of care and effort and forethought.
Yeah, I made a gigantic list, much like David, and then I kind of whittled that down into probably about a list of maybe 20. And then even from there, I was like, okay, now let's separate from what I really like between what's an actual good movie. And then took even further from there and just combined.
Yeah. That is the way to do it. I have stuff on my list that I know you guys are going to completely slag off. And then
100.
Yeah,
and then I've got
100%.
several that I know that will be on multiple of our lists. So,
Sure.
Drew,
Did you guys, because like Drew, I had 40 or 50 odd, then I got down to about 25, and then sort of agonized over the ones that I genuinely great movies, or that my favorite movies versus how heisty they are. So I had some that I left out that appeared on lots of lists online because the heist either wasn't central enough or it wasn't. The heist bit wasn't interesting. It was the other stuff that was interesting. I tried to drill down and I feel like the 10 that I settled on, while they're not my 10 favorites out of the short list, I think they're the 10 where the heist is important and
the
interesting.
heist should be key. The heist should not be like, I don't know, like even just a quarter of the film.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I wrote down
or not even
11
appear
like,
on screen at all.
I wrote down 11 films, and that was by accident because I thought I'd hit 10, and I accidentally had 11. So I did not put... I'm telling you, it's the best way to make these lists, because sure, at the end of this, I might go, oh, damn, I forgot that. But at the same time, it's gut instinct, right?
No, it is. I mean, I have my 10, and then I highlighted different ones that I would say are like honorable mentions. So I'm there with you.
So I might be a bit looser in terms of the definition of heist. Some of mine, you guys might go, well, that's a crime caper, but is it necessarily a heist film? Because I really struggled with what is a heist film. Does a heist film have to be revolved around one central robbery?
Yes.
What did you look up, Drew? Tell
I
us.
looked up the definition of heist. Like specifically, I was not to try and just skirt around, the definition, but also definitively, what did it say what a heist was? Yeah. And, by like Webster's definition, someone is planning an event to steal something. And it doesn't necessarily have to be money or jewels or artwork or anything like that. Just they're trying to steal something. Now, more often than not, it is money, art, or anything that. But they just have to steal something technically.
Okay.
And I think in terms of the genre, rather than just the word heist,
right?
There's sort of an understanding that a good heist film has certain elements, like pulling together a crew and
planning,
and potentially the aftermath thereof. I did find when I was looking into it, there's sort of two camps. There are the ones where the heist is successful, and then you've got a subgenre where something goes pear-shaped that was unforeseen.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is an interesting thing. When I made my list, I've actually got it separated out into a table, and one of my columns is, was it successful? Only 3 out of my 10 films would you define as a successful heist.
In the 3 minutes that you put into putting this list together, you have a table?
So once
So most of the 3 minutes was drawing the table.
Little peek behind the curtain. This is my one use of AI that I use. After I write my list, I give my list to ChatGPT and I say, please give me this as a table, giving me release date, director, key actors, and whatever else I might want. And in this case, I said, was it a successful heist? Because it gives me a nice little reference to.
Can we pause recording for 5 minutes so that I can go and do that? Because that's really cool.
I'll send you my prompt.
When we're done, I'm gonna send you exactly what I've made and print it out at work, because I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah, nice.
See, I see Drew sitting down doing it old school, like a medieval scribe in a monastery doing illuminated letters.
Okay, Dave. This is nice, clean, printed, finished product. This is the handwritten notes that I did at first.
It's one of those Legally Blonde yellow pads that I've heard about in movies.
All right. Well, Drew, as our guest, why don't you kick us off and let us know what your number 10 heist film of all time is?
Okay, so I have to get it out of the way because I know I will inevitably get a bunch of slack for it, but it is one that I truly kind of hold dear. The heist is not necessarily the product of our protagonist, but it is something that our protagonist has to deal with. And ladies and gentlemen, no mall is safe without this man. This is Paul Blart, Mall Cop.
Wow. This is
why I had to do it at 10, because David's reaction is exactly why I had to do it at 10.
Look, full disclosure, I have not seen Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Shut up.
One or two. But wow. Kevin James, yeah? It's one
Kevin
of
James.
Yep.
I've also not seen this film. I didn't know that this was a heist film. What is this about, Drew?
So we have Paul Blart, who is a security guard at the mall, and he takes under his wing Keir O'Donnell, who plays the character of Vec. And Vec is like a new recruit to the mall, and Kevin James tries to, show him the ropes, and it's like, you want to be a little cautious. This is really dangerous. You never know what's going to happen in the mall. And Vec is like, yeah, okay, yeah. So when's lunch? And inevitably we find out that all of the transactions that are being emptied out at the end of the night, and there's codes to empty the safes, Vec has been planning to get the codes, get the money, and Paul is there while Vec has taken everybody else in the mall hostage, so his friends and inevitably his daughter, and Paul Blart has been stuck in the arcade doing Dance Dance Revolution, and he is none the wiser to what has happened in the mall. And so when he finds out that everybody else has been taken hostage, and it's like, it's up to him to save the day. So of course he does exactly what is so cliche and iconic in most heist films. He's going to use the tools around him. He uses the mall. He gets not riot gear, but softball gear, and then he'll acquire a skateboard and a mountain bike or anything like that. But he uses the mall to his advantage to take out the crew of Vec who is sent out to get him. And so it's not a combination of a team to take on the heist. It's one man versus the heist.
Okay. All right. Look, I'll add it to my list of
Do
to
it.
watch. Yeah.
That's a meaningless statement. I've learned this over the last however many years we've been doing this. Billy adding things. I'm not even convinced there is a list, but if he adds things to it, it really doesn't mean anything.
We don't understand the never-ending list of watching things.
The difference is that I trust Drew's opinion, Dave. So in his case, the
so
list
you're
doesn't
adding it above Property Brothers on your list. I'll believe that when I see it.
All right, Dave, do you want to go next, or do you want me to go next?
I'll go next. And look, I'm really pleased that Drew kicked off with a Kevin James film, because I thought I was going to cop flack for my number 10, but I kind of fell into safe space now. My number 10 is Hudson Hawk.
Okay, yep. Another film I have not seen.
That tracks.
Bailey, you need to make better life choices.
Yeah. In my opinion, a lot of so-called worst films ever not. Ishtar is a totally fine film. Hudson Hawk, I think, is the second best Bruce Willis film after Die Hard. I will die on that hill quite happily. It's very good. Absolute joy from start to finish. Original story by Bruce Willis, directed by Michael Lehman of Heathers, Airheads, you name it. All sorts of great stuff back in the 80s, early 90s. And it is just so much fun. A lot of people have a go at it. I know our good friend Paul thinks it's a piece of shit. Even Wayne doesn't like it, and he likes some truly awful things. But the musical moments that are woven in, I think, are hugely fun. The slapstick comedy works, and I'm not usually a fan of slapstick, but I think the slapstick in this is clever enough that it works. There's some fantastic quotable dialogue. The cast is just incredible. Danny Aiello, Andy McDowell, It's it's you. I reckon you would really dig it because you liked Hubie Halloween. So your comedy bar is quirky at best.
I'll add it to the list, Dave.
better than Tommy Boy.
All right. Well, it seems we've stuck with a theme here because my number 10 is also one that I was expecting to get slagged off on because it does have a whopping 16% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is completely unfair. Its audience score is in the 60s. This is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Army of the Dead.
No.
Sorry, is that higher on your list?
One of my all-time favorite movies, one of my all-time favorite comedies. It's 2000's Chain of Fools. Have either of you guys seen Chain of Fools?
You have mentioned this before, and I haven't seen it, so remind me what it is. I know you've spoken of it before.
Listen to this cast. Steve Zahn, Selma Hayek, Elijah Wood, David Cross, Tom Wilkinson, David Hyde Pierce, Lara Flynn Boyle, and Jeff Goldblum. That is the cast of this heist caper.
I think word for word, that's what you said last time, and word for word, I think what I said was, "Oh damn, how have I not seen that?"
How have you not seen it? This movie is incredible. It is a heist comedy film, heavy on the comedy. Steve Zahn is this down on his luck barber who somehow gets in possession of some stolen goods. And it just completely goes off the rails. It's all of these different stories intertwining. And I love this film. It is so funny. I highly recommend it to everybody. So that is my number 10, Chain of Fools.
Hang on.
I will add it to the
one
list.
second.
You
know what?
You would like
know
this
what?
movie.
No, Billy, I'm going to give myself some credit. I have seen this. I went and watched it after you mentioned it last time.
Yep.
And I have seen it.
It was so impactful, he didn't remember.
Yeah. Do you know this because it's on your letterbox? Do you going to tell us what you rated it?
No, I haven't looked, but I'm not sure I've logged it because I'm terrible at logging things. But no, I just as you were talking about it, I just brought it up on IMDb. It was like just the picture that came up of very baby faced David Cross and Steve Zahn. I was like, you know what? I did go and watch it because I actually follow through when I add things to lists.
All right, Drewby, back to you for your number 9.
We're going to go again with another kind of like action comedy, and mainly because I just love the chemistry between these two characters. And it was Netflix's Red Notice with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
wow!
I enjoy it. Mainly because I just love Ryan Reynolds' sarcastic wit and bluntness, and the way that The Rock just delivers lines like just so to the point. It's such, I think, a juxtaposition between the two, but it meshes so well. And it bases itself off of so many heists that either go right and wrong and MacGuffins. And you also have it spanning different countries, so you get to go to different locales. And I don't know, there is just an enjoyment about it. And I know there's going to be a sequel, so I'm excited for the sequel.
Yeah, so this is definitely a film.
There's people in it.
From memory, I mean, I definitely reviewed this on the show. I can't remember if this was in your time, Dave.
Yeah.
And I liked this film more than the average person from memory. My memory is that you hated... Oh, no, you liked it, did you?
Oh, no, that's being way too effusive. I didn't hate it as much as a lot of people did. Yeah. I don't think it was... I was very disappointed by it because at the time I liked Gal Gadot. At the time I liked The Rock. It was before the tipping point where I decided they were both insufferable. And Ryan Reynolds, who's also approaching one of those tipping points. And the shtick between them, I think, mostly worked, but I did think it wasn't particularly well written. There's another Netflix one which I think I'm confident enough to mention because I don't think it's going to make anyone's top 10. But there's a Netflix Kevin Hart heist film that came out within the last 12 months. I think it's called Lift.
Yeah, it was called Lift.
That one I did genuinely enjoy, and it was in my 40 before I started culling. But yeah, Red Notice I thought was I was disappointed given the cast involved.
It's fine. Don't worry, they get better. They get better from here on, I promise.
All right, Dave, you're number 9.
My number 9, and this is one of Two moments where I'm going to call out our friends at the Countdown and say the original shits on the remake, and I don't care what they say. And this is where I have the Italian Job.
Okay. Yep. I did see this pop up in the
Michael
listener
Caine,
feedback.
and I mean it's a classic for a reason. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. One of the best car chase sequences in film history. I mean, the minis racing through viaducts, that's up there with car chases from Bullet, as far as I'm concerned. It's just fucking
The best
great.
car chase in film history is Blues Brothers.
No,
Yes.
that's the best car crash in history. Have you guys seen the original Italian Job?
Yeah, I mean,
I
years
have
and years
not.
and years ago.
No.
So you've got Noel Coward is kind of the mastermind. He's in prison, meets Michael Caine's Charlie Croker, and Charlie Croker's got the idea for this heist in Europe, a gold heist, and Noel Coward's this sort of kingpin figure, and he masterminds the whole thing. Charlie gets out, puts his crew together, and it's your archetypal heist pulling. You've got the munitions guy and the explosives guy and the this and that and the other, and they have the heist. The getaway is to have these 3 minis that can fit through the tunnels of the viaduct, and you get the chase scene, and then the iconic ending, which I'm sure you guys know the ending, which is a cliffhanger, and you don't know what happened. It ends with them you don't know whether they get away with the money or not. I won't say more than that if you haven't seen it, Billy. But it's peak sexy Michael Caine. It's Noel Coward, who's one of my all-time heroes of the arts in general. I love it, and
Nice.
it's the remake is popcorn trash. I enjoy it, but it's kind of it's not a great film. It's a fun film, but the original is a classic for a reason.
Nice. All right. My number 9 is one that may or may not pop up on at least one other list. It was a sneaky heist film. It's a space opera at heart that nobody knew was a heist film, but of course it is.
Yep.
And even though we all knew the ending, it was still amazing. It's Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Honorable mention, very close to my 10.
Yeah. Just a fantastic movie. Easily the best Star Wars property that we've had in the last 20 years, I'd say, at least.
Yeah.
50. I can go back to the early 80s and it's the best Star Wars film. I like Last Jedi. I like other one. It is the best one since Empire. It is clearly by a clear margin, I think.
To be honest, I probably agree with that as well. Felicity Jones, fantastic in this film.
Yep.
Even though you knew how it was going to end, when it does end, it's just amazing. And it's a successful heist, but at such great cost that by the end of the movie, it doesn't feel successful. I love this film. I don't know if it's popping up on either of your guys' lists, but that's my number 9.
You literally end with all your characters dying, and you knew they were going to. But you spend the whole movie.
That's okay.
You spend the movie hoping they won't, but you know they will.
Because when they're in the council room, and she's like, "You're asking us to go into a base on nothing but hope," and she's like, "Rebellions are built on hope." And when that movie ended, I remember
hope.
It is a new hope. No, but when that movie ended, I sat there just like staring at the screen, and I kind of like said to myself, and I'm like, "And now we know how much that hope cost."
Yes. Yeah.
I think it is a masterclass in how to make a prequel, because prequels often fail because there's no tension, because you know the outcome of the movie before you start. But in this case, that changed nothing. It was still exciting. The characters were fantastic the whole way, wonderful, and the pulling together of the team. It is an archetypal heist film. You've got your blind ninjas, you've got your sassy droids, he is
everything. One with the Force, and the Force is with him.
Yeah. He can't use it, but he can sense it.
All right.
Yep. Good
Drew,
pick.
you're number 8.
So we're going to go off of what David said earlier and said that it is popcorn trash. It is the Italian Job remake.
Oh, Oh, nice! What a 1-2 punch!
I feel so bad now. I just shat all over it.
It's fine. You can shit all over it. I do not care. Because here's the thing. Again, it's once again that like Magnificent Seven kind of mentality. You're pulling together the crew, except Magnificent Seven is almost like a reverse heist, because instead of getting the money, they're taking back their independence.
Yeah.
But I saw this before I saw the original, and so that's why it sticks with me. And I love kind of like looking at the different characters. I think Charlize Theron is just stunning in this movie. And it's one of those things where you kind of live to despise Edward Norton because he's such a fucking tool. And he's so annoying in this movie.
Well, and the fact is, he's not the Moriarty. He's a dickhead.
No.
He's fucking hopeless.
And I love the fact that every single one of the things that he acquired was all of their shit. It was all of their ideas.
Seth Green insisting that he invented Napster is such a genius bit of writing. I do like I did shit on it, and I do think it is popcorn trash. But I've seen it.
That's why I enjoy it, because it is popcorn.
I have seen it about 10 times by choice, so I do enjoy it. It's one of the few Marky Mark films that I will happily sit through, along with maybe The Big Hit. But it is a wonderful cast. You've got Donnie Sutherland, who I will watch in anything, even though he's not in for a huge portion of the movie. But it's a fun film for sure.
No, and I think the update from the original to switch out the cars to Mini Coupes, I think is a great little switch up and
It's a wonderful nod to the original.
Through. Yeah, it is, and it's fun. I mean, like when you finally watch everything go down and like how they set everything up, it's meticulous, and just like blowing open the road and having it fall down. Edward Norton up the helicopter. Where's my money? Where's my van?
And I love the fact that you get kind of both types of heist movies with this one. You get to follow along their clever planning and see it unfold, but you don't know everything. You don't know the final twist. You don't see how the comeuppance on Edward Norton. So you do get a surprise at the end as well. So you get, and some heist movies do one, some do the other. This had elements of both, which I did appreciate.
Right, and this is overall, I mean, it's not like we're going to do the heist because we want to get rich. We're doing the heist because we need revenge.
Yeah.
And we need justice for that.
Yeah, this fucker killed Donald Sutherland. He got paid.
All right, Dave, you're number 8.
Number 8. Oh, old school. So there's 3 or 4 films that kind of created this genre, really. I mean, you can go back further, but in the sort of late 50s, early 60s, there were 2 or 3 films that all came out within about a year of each other that kind of created the modern heist movie. I won't mention the others because they may crop up, but this is where I have Stanley Kubrick's The Killing, which I think is... Of those early films, it's one of the ones that's held up the best. I think it's still a very exciting watch today, which a John Huston film that just predated it doesn't hold up quite as well, I don't think, because I did rewatch all of these in the last few years. But this is your classic heist film, pulling together the team. Sterling Hayden as the lead is just fantastic. And this is the quintessential, every detail planned out meticulously, and then this one little bit of fucking RNG at the end that you couldn't predict destroys the whole thing, and you literally end the film going, no, come on. But I think Kubrick was in his early 20s or something when he made this. I think it's
pretty ridiculous.
Technically his second film, but it's the first one anyone really saw from memory. But I think of it as his debut, and I mean it's a phenomenally well crafted film for someone that young.
Yeah, nice. All right, my next one is one that I also think the remake is actually very good. Yes, the remake is more kind of popcorn, but I actually wasn't sure which one to put on this list in the end. But I am in the end going with the original from 1974. It is The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Oh, thank God, the original. Yes, come on.
Good.
The remake is also fun.
The
remake is very annoying with John Travolta screaming, "Motherfucker!" Like his pacing of the word irritates the shit out of me.
I saw it once when it came out and went, well, yeah, well done. I don't remember it very well, but I certainly remember it's not Robert Shaw versus
Robert Shaw and Walter Matthau is just
Matthau,
fantastic.
Right.
Robert Shaw's so good.
I don't know if this is on either of your guys' lists, but if not,
It's honorable
wrong.
mention.
Okay.
Honorable mention.
So you're both
when
wrong.
I was
So-
struggling, it would be in terms of what
Is
I
this
think are
one
the best
that you weren't
films.
sure if it was heisty enough?
Yeah, kind of. When I was desperately searching for ways to get from sort of 25 to 10, I went, it's a train. That's kind of not as heisty as the other heisties, so that's a reason to exclude it. But if I was just doing the best films of my top 25, this would probably be in the 10 because it's fantastic.
Yeah, fair. All right, Drew, over to number 7.
Well, we need to go back to the 60s.
Nice.
And we need to basically bring about the incompetent but lovable Inspector Clouseau with the Pink Panther.
I knew you would have this.
I do love the bumbling kind of like Magoo aspect of a character that you side with, because despite his incompetence, you love him. And he became like the archetype of, the fool detective. I mean, this is where we get things like the cheap detective, and where we also get David Nevins and also Peter Sellers, later in years doing like Murder by Death by Neil Simon. And
I love that movie.
I did so good. But that's a murder mystery whodunit top 10.
We need a showdown between that and Clue to try and pick which is the best. That'll be a long discussion.
That's pretty hard. But I mean, this movie is it's fun, it's quick, it's witty. It gets the writing that you don't get anymore. And especially writing that started to, I think, fade out in the 70s, but had a resurgent in the 80s with clever films like Top Secret and, movies, like, Hot Shots and stuff like that. When you get that quick-witted comedy, like when they're in the bed, when she's in the hotel room with the nephew and she's like, "You ought to be ashamed of yourself." He's like, "I'm planning on it." And but it's just fun. It's so fun. It's kooky, and it's also like wildly appropriate for any audience. And I think that's also like a key aspect to it that just makes it great.
You could do a lot worse than just go through Blake Edwards' 1960s, 70s filmography, just one after the other, Victor Victoria, etc., etc. He was one of the best for that quick. It's almost like he took Noel Cowart's mantle 20 years later for that quick-witted, snappy, slightly risque, but still appropriate for families.
Sure. But I mean, like the kids, you have to almost like pay attention to get like the double entendres and, the kind of like tongue in cheek about it. Otherwise, you're just laughing at physical comedy, which is still amazingly poignant for it.
We shouldn't talk too much about this because I'm pretty sure Billy's got the remake in his list.
I don't, although I do love Steve Martin.
The bigger.
Dave, you're number 7.
7. All right, once again, Paul Prezula, if you're listening, and I know you will be, the remake is fine, but it's not a patch on the original Thomas Crown Affair. Pierce Brosnan is not a good actor and has never been a good actor.
Get out of it.
He coasted by on good looks and charisma until he didn't have them, and then we were forced to go, oh, you know what? He's not that fucking good at acting.
So you've never seen Dante's Peak then?
Oh, no, I have. Look, I don't mind the remake, but Rene Russo certainly is no Faye Dunaway. Pierce Brosnan is no Steve McQueen. Both of Dunaway and McQueen can act circles around. I mean, Rene Russo's fine, but they're both great actors. It's a wonderfully stylish 60s feeling film. There are techniques that Who is it? Is it Norman Jewison? Pretty sure it's Norman Jewison. There are visual techniques he uses that just don't get used anymore. Sort of, the screen, little boxes of things showing what's happening in different parts of the, locations on screen at the same time, and it's things that they really pigeonhole the film in the time and place, because it's a technique that only got used really in the late 60s, early 70s, and then they went, well, we don't need to do that. We could do fades, we could do whatever. Fantastic soundtrack, wonderful 60s staples, Windmills at My Mind. It's just a gorgeous song. Steve McQueen is the sexiest motherfucker who ever walked the earth. And Jesus Christ, there are about 3 films from his filmography that could have made this list, but this is my favorite. Plus, it has the sexiest chess set that's ever been seen in a film. I will find a screenshot, and I have searched my life to be able to buy this chess set, and I can't even find it for prices I can't afford, which it would be. But the scene where he is sitting back playing chess on this, and the pieces are this big, and they're like carved in probably something inappropriate like ivory, but they look so good. Oh my God. Nice. I feel like Wayne obsessing over like a flip phone in a movie and doubling my score because of but that chess set bumps it up a full star. But yeah, nice. It's a great film.
All right. Well, I can't believe we're like 8 movies in now, and from the sounds of it so far, no crossover. But from here on out is where I feel like we're gonna looking
There's
at my list. I feel like there has to be some crossover.
I will. If my number 2 at the very least, and maybe number 3 aren't on your lists, I will be stunned.
So my number 7 is the first one where I'm like, possibly this is gonna be a crossover. And I know that there's going to be a huge set of the population out there. They're going to tell me that this is way too low. But looking at the rest of my list, I feel like this is completely appropriately placed, and it's Michael Mann's Heat. Is this on either of your guys' lists?
Yes. And I agree. Low.
Oh, yes, which a lot of people will. Which is fine by me. I like this movie, but I came to it late. I only saw it a couple of years ago when Topher was like, how have you not seen Heat?
I should say, Billy, that in 2024, Heat was still a 5-star film. So coming to it late, I don't think is an excuse.
Well, I just think that there's better movies, and I think that all of the 6 I have above this are better than Heat. But Drew, why don't you tell us about Heat then?
Oh gosh. I mean, okay, let's look at a movie where you actually side with your villains. Mm-hmm. You actually enjoy rooting for De Niro. You love the fact that you want to like scream at him and just say, just drop Val Kilmer and let him die. He is It's like he is dragging you behind. Fine, take the station wagon and go. But I mean, yeah, it's such a okay. Like the armored car scene is enough on its own to kind of warrant at least a 1.5 stars. And then let's take one of the best choreographed shootouts in a street.
The shootout is pretty incredible, and the sound design is amazing as well.
I mean, you have such intensity, and you have such a buy-in where you are frantically panicking for not just like Al Pacino running in his vest, like, trying to dodge in and out, everybody yelling, like the guy picks up the little girl, you have people ducking in the supermarket. I mean, the explosions and the fragment from the cars being shot at, every single time, like moment, you are invested. I mean, just those alone. Yeah. It's
Mann is one of my favorite directors, and that was kind of his return to form for me, because most of my favorites of his are back in like Manhunter and so on, and this hit like a bombshell. We sort of had a few other things. I don't know if anyone's going to mention another De Niro film that came out like about 12 months after this. No one's all right. So yeah, Ronan and other things that were also really good, but not a patch on this. This is up in the top 3 Michael Mann films of all time.
So is this a 3-way crossover then? This is also on your list?
Yeah, for sure. It's my next, which is why I'm sort of rabbiting on a bit, because we're
going to be in that
we'll skip me next. But my love for this not only Kilmer, who is one of my favorite actors of all time, and this is I think one of his best performances, probably just after Tombstone. We get, for the first time, we get De Niro and Pacino face to face on screen rather than separated by decades, and and that scene obviously in the diner is so iconic.
Yeah,
you've got Pacino's most famous scenery chewing of all time with "You got a great ass." And you got your head all the way up it. Ooh-wah. No, that's Scent of a Woman. But he is fantastic. He's doing his best work. De Niro's doing his best work. Somehow they work opposite one another without either one kind of stealing the spotlight, because it's very much a 50-50 scene with two actors respecting each other's time and space and giving each other the spotlight. And I think it's a fantastic scene. You've got Einstürzen to Neubauten in the soundtrack, which, Michael Mann, hats off. You're putting obscure German industrial music from the 80s as one of your main themes in the film. I got to that point in the film, I went, okay, this is just the best film of the decade. This is so good. Ashley Judd, who I was in love with, obviously not quite as good as she was in Billy's favourite film, The Passion of Darkly Noon. But just, phenomenal film. Phenomenal. 5 out of 5, no notes.
Nice. All right, Drew, you're number 6.
We're going to probably end with what my list might, if I remember what I have for the rest of the stuff. But this is definitely the last of my, let's get the team together kind of film. You have a jazzy soundtrack for a contemporary remake, and this is Ocean's 11, modern times. I think it's just a fun...
Better than the original.
Yeah, it's definitely better than the original. I think you have a more assurance for the filming with a tighter pacing than with Dean and all of them. But you also, I think, have a little bit more vibrancy to the characters. And again, more of a buy-in for, the modern audience for when it came out. I think Soderbergh, kind of, he has a suave aspect to it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that is just such a great thing for it. And Clooney, while his interests are, of course, not the heist, but it's to get Tess. And I think you also have his humor kind of coaxing everyone along. He's like, you think we need one more? Okay, we'll get one more. And you have lines that are constantly there.
You can tell in that film that those guys are going to be bosom buddies for the rest of their lives, right. And their rivalry and teasing and practical jokes has sort of almost become the stuff of legend. But they are such a perfect counterpoint, even more so than Sinatra and Dean Martin, who had a similar thing where you've got one guy who's a little bit more straight-laced but still cool, and then you've got the kind of laid-back, ooh, cool guy. I think it's even better here. I rarely obsess over clothes in films, but Brad Pitt is a fucking clothes source in this movie.
The costuming for it,
he is never not eating, and yet somehow he's always looking cool. You've got the use of the cameos for the poker scenes with the Topher Grace and stuff, which was sort of poking fun at the fact that those guys were all doing that in real life, and it was sort of in the news, was so clever. Unlike the original, where the team was the team because they were the Rat Pack in real life, and let's make a movie and capitalize on that, regardless of whether Sammy or Joey Bishop or whatever were actually good actors. In this case, Soderbergh's assembled a team of actors that have wonderful contrast but worked well together and are all great performers.
Right.
So obviously the film is better just because it has better actors in it.
And I think that's the notion of the variety of the team. Because you have you have people who don't even speak English with your little acrobat, and then you have Carl Reiner just coming in
so
and
good.
just soaking it up. And I love that his character was so I love that his character was like, no, I can't do this. I'm getting nervous, my heart. And then suddenly he turns around and is all like, let's go. And he's ready for it.
And Matt Damon, Oceans. Who you're used to seeing even then as kind of the lead in films, as the kind of nervous wannabe who keeps fucking up because he's so keen to impress. Andy Garcia, who I have always loved, it is it's fairly faultless, I think, as a caper film.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right,
That's it.
so
Not in my
Dave,
10.
Dave, I understand that this is where you had Heat.
Yep, skip straight
Nice.
past me.
All right. Well, my number 6 is Jackie Brown.
Fuck,
Quentin
I didn't even
Tarantino.
think of it. Shit.
Good film, but not in my 10. But I do enjoy it a lot.
First, but not the last mention of Tarantino in my list, I must say.
Oh, you're going to have the heist film that doesn't actually show a heist.
Yes, I am. Yes. But this is just such a fun time at the movies. I love the Elmore Leonard novel that it's based on, and I think this is a fantastic adaptation. To be honest, I wish Tarantino would do more adaptations because I think he did this really, really well. I mean, amazing cast. Pam Grier is so good in this film, and you are rooting for her 100% of the time. Just great movie.
Say what you will about Tarantino, who's kind of proving himself to be the kind of arrogant cunt that we always knew he was. But he has given a resurgence to multiple careers of people he liked, unlike Matthew Lillard and Paul Dano, but people he liked who hadn't really done anything notable other than Let's Look Who's Talking movies for probably 10, 15 years. And people like Pam Grier that you mentioned, but also, Travolta, obviously, owes him everything. So many people that he has gone, I really love your shit back 20 years ago. I know you haven't done much now, but I'm going to stick you in my movie, and because it's me, it's going to make $1 million, and you will have a kind of a second career. And he's done that for a number of people, probably for selfish reasons, but still cool.
Nice.
Underrated.
Right.
It's the underrated, or that this and Death Proof, I think, are the underrated Tarantino movies that I prefer over other stuff like maybe Hateful Eight that probably get better critical response.
All right, Drew, here we go. Top 5.
Woohoo!
Well, I don't know of any other theme song that has been parodied in more crime or heisty, gimmicky things than Mission Impossible.
Oh,
So, yeah,
maybe.
that's... I don't know.
I thought you were about to go Shaft.
Shut your mouth.
Who's that cool motherfucker?
If only. But man, it's not exactly for everything that leads up to it, right? It's all for the moment of being lowered down and the sweat drip and him coming back in and out and having to puke and go take a vomit in the bathroom, and then the knife dropping and the killing of the rat, and it's everything that encompasses there, all the while Virgil's sitting there just going, oh my god, what's happening? It's great, and I love the turnaround. I love the
multiple
reveal,
double
the
crosses.
twist. Yes,
multiple. Who's on whose side? Is she?
Yes.
Is she gonna backstab or is yeah?
And despite what most people
other
think,
than
this is
Scream,
hands down the best Mission Impossible
it
film,
is.
easily.
No.
I mean, Fallout is a great movie. I just agree
Fallout
with you there.
sucks.
But Fallout's the second. Oh yeah, it's don't. Can you it's fucking Tenet Gate all
There
over
hasn't
again.
been a good Mission Impossible movie since the first one.
Oh my
so
god,
bad.
stop talking. But this was De Palma before he De Palma'd, to steal a term from our friends. But yeah, the great cast, and other than the first Scream, the best fake out at the start of a film, I think, ever, where you have big name actors and what seems like a kind of cookie cutter one, traditional heist film opening, and you're like, oh, I'm invested, and then spoilers for a film that's about 30 years old, you lose almost the entire cast in one fell swoop, and you're like, what? Fucking Estevez? What the fuck?
Emilio!
What did you do to Coach? You just see him die in the elevator and hit.
And his is the best death. Up until
It's the quickest too. Yeah, it's the quickest death for it as well.
Billy is another fan of the show Revenge. I don't know if you watched that,
Yes.
Drew.
Henry
I don't.
Czerny, Madeline
But,
Stowe,
yeah,
great show.
Henry Czerny there, who obviously comes back repeatedly and is either good or bad depending on the movie you're looking at. But the classic red light, green light. So good. No,
All right,
good.
Dave,
good
you're
pick.
number 5.
Number 5. All right, we are, if anything, the most classic heist film. Not the first, because I didn't include John Huston's film, but this is where I have Jules Cézanne's Rafifi.
Oh, okay. I saw this pop up on many
Yes.
lists when I did my quick 5-minute Google, but I've never seen this film. So.
I need
It
to
is-
watch it, apparently.
So, the film as a whole, I probably wouldn't have in my top 10. It's all good. It's a great film, but the thing that gets it here, the heist itself is 30 minutes straight with no dialogue. It is
Yeah, it's
edge
just
of your
all
seat
sound,
stuff.
just sound.
The actual heist is probably the greatest ever filmed. You are on the edge of your seat for half an hour with no dialogue. Well, these guys are doing all, drilling and doing all these things and trying to be quiet, and it's like Clouseau's Wages of Fear, edge of your seat stuff, where it is so well put together, and that gets it over. And that is why, to me, it holds the crown as the thing that created the heist movie, even though, and I'm sure neither of you have it, but John Huston's Asphalt Jungle was, I think, 1 or 2 years earlier. Kubrick's The Killing was, I think, the same year, or they're all within spitting distance anyway.
Right, yeah.
But Rafifi is the one that really nailed the actual crime itself, and for that reason alone, it had to be in there, and it had to be this high.
Nice. My number 5 is where I have the heist film where you don't see a heist. It's Reservoir Dogs, which to me is still... It's in contention for me these last couple of months, but it's still probably my favorite Tarantino film, whether or not you think it's his best. And the fact that you don't actually see the heist, I don't think diminishes this as a heist film at all, because it's all about the direct aftermath of the heist and
the
way that
preamble.
these
You kind of
characters-
it's got the pulling together of the team, and it's got
Yes.
what happened, and that's, I think, the main genius of this. I mean, we all know the whole thing's stolen, as most Tarantino films are, from elsewhere, but the way he has chosen to piece it together and bounce back and forth and never show the actual crime, I think that's the genius of this film, more so than anything else.
And as a fan of independent film and low budget filmmaking, the idea that you can make a heist film like this purely character based, it's all about the aftermath and the way that they're turning against each other and stuff. It's essentially a bottle film, really, in so many ways, and I just think it's executed so well. So yeah, that's why it's here at my number 5, and we're back over to you, Drew, for number 4.
Okay. I think one of the better kind of like turnarounds and twists for a heist job involves someone walking right out the front door. And it's Spike Lee's Inside Man.
Oh,
Nice. Yeah, good call. Not on my list, but good call.
we're skipping me again next time round.
No, I find I have a weird fascination for Inside Man. And maybe it's just Clive Owen, but I thought that his character was so good, especially when, he's on the phone with Denzel and he's like, Denzel's like, all right, just everybody calm down. He's like, don't I sound calm to you? He's like, yeah, you do. And it's such a weird thing. The cleverness of it, like, everybody strip, put these on. And so when they make themselves look like everybody, and all the while, it's not a matter of stealing the money. It's a matter of having this insurance. And to also, like, get the guy who built up an empire on blood money. And it's such a fun thing. I also liked seeing William Dafoe in like a random little role where he's not the lead. I like Jodie Foster's character where it's also just a random little role. But I think that Christopher Plummer playing Carter, what is he? Arthur Case. I liked him as well as like this empire building man, but it's such, you get so into it, and I loved the idea. You get into their heads where they're trying to keep everyone confused. Like, move to this room, everybody scream, shut up, sit down. I mean, you keeping them confused. Like you start to think back, and you're like, this is actually brilliant. Like, no one's kept in the same place. You're taking everything that's, that they're going to be needing to have any type of like orientation. So when everyone goes and gets interviewed, like Denzel has no idea what he's doing. He's all like, so how much did they pay you? What? So you didn't rob the bank? No, I didn't rob the bank. Okay. Steve, what? Nothing.
Yeah.
This is my favorite Spike Lee film. By a clear margin. I think it is fantastic. I think it has the twist in this, and it's moderately recent. I won't say what it is, but when you realize kind of the completion of Clive Owen's plan is one of the best reveals that I can remember that I've ever seen. That was when I went, oh my God, I love this movie. And that's on top of a cast that are fantastic. Lee at the peak of his powers in terms of his actual direction, performances, everything. I think this is a fantastic film.
I mean, I can't go past either Do the Right Thing or Black Klansman in terms of our boy Spike.
Oh, Black Klansman irritated me. It was well made,
such an
but
incredible film.
It was well made, but something about it I didn't really gel with. But Do the Right Thing. There's other Spike Lee stuff I like for sure, obviously, but this film, because it was just this kind of perfect coalescing of a heist film, which is one of my favorite genres, and Spike Lee doing something that was kind of not what I expected from Spike Lee, and then this amazing cast, and then on top of all of that, this story that had this phenomenal twist in the end. Everything lined up for me. I really loved it.
So, Dave, is this your number 4? Are we skipping you now, or is
this
I
may as well not even be here.
All right. Well, my number 4. Surely this is another one that is going to be crossover, because as soon as we said heist film, this was one of the first ones that came to my mind, and it's a classic. It's brilliant. It's based on a true story, and it's executed so well. It's Dog Day Afternoon. So second mention of Pacino here. Is this not on either of your guys' lists?
No, I don't. I think mentally I dissociated bank robberies from heists, because this is kind of
bank
a war.
Robbery is the classic.
I know,
heist.
but it's not a putting as
no putting together of a team
in terms of the genre, rather than he's heisting a bank, but it doesn't have sort of hit the tropes of the heist film, and so it didn't even occur to me. I love Dog Day Afternoon. I think it's a fantastic film. I love how progressive it was for the time in terms of the plot line, which everyone seems to gloss over now when they talk about it and just pretend his motivation is not part of the film. But I love how progressive that was, and the fact that Pacino agreed to do it. He doesn't get enough credit for the bold choices he made early in his career with things like this, Serpico to a lesser extent, but Cruising. He did a lot of films that any other actor would have turned down because they were worried about their
image.
Yeah, exactly. And he just went, fuck it, it's a good role. And hats off. Great film. Good pick.
Nice. All right, Drew, your number 3.
Number 3 has probably my most favorite heist that it most resembles a D&D kind of like adventure. And mainly because, we're looking for clues and we're going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
No, not that. But no, it's Nick Cage in National Treasure. I absolutely love this movie, and I watch it every 4th of July. And then I follow it right up with the second one with Ed Harris. I think
I like
just
this.
It's fun. It's fun. It's him not only like going along with getting everything off the back, but it's conspiracy theories. It's actual history. It's different people like hiding stuff in plain sight, and it also kind of like reminds me a little bit of like Fallout a little bit. And it's just going down these trails and finding stuff. It's such a fun movie, and I'm so thankful. I think Nick Cage is perfect in it. I think that it's one of those movies finally where It kind of beats the theory that the movie is not good until Sean Bean dies. Um, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun, and it's also one of the movies where Jon Voight doesn't ruin it by being a complete dick and turning things around.
I can't believe we have 2 Jon Voight films so far in this.
There's more. There's more. He's in a lot of them.
We may as well be just a MAGA podcast at this point. No, I
Good
love
night,
those
everybody.
films.
No.
I think they accomplish successfully in a tongue-in-cheek and fun way what things like this is going to seem like a really long bow to draw, but Da Vinci Code and Tomb Raider is the 2 examples. The running around, the conspiracy, that I love the idea of all that, but you need to have a good writer, so Da Vinci Code's out. You need to have a good writer, so the Tomb Raider films are out. And you need to have good direction, so the Tomb Raider films are out. And National Treasure, I think, nails all of those. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's still interesting and cleverly plotted. And
but you know what
you're
Tomb Raider
still going
does
on that.
Jon Voight.
Is he the dad?
He plays the dad. Yeah.
Oh God! This is why the Alicia
yourself into that.
And this is why the Alicia Vikander Tomb Raider is infinitely superior to everything that came before it.
All right. Good
wow.
pick. Dave, you're number 3.
Number 3. All right. So in the preamble, we talked about the fact that most heist movies, you're stealing money or goods of some disc. In this case, we are stealing ideas.
Yeah.
And this is where I try and win back all of the Nolan fanboys that we lost with Tenet Gate, and I have Inception.
And I'm going to lose those fans right back for us by saying,
God,
this
I
movie's
try
not
so
that
hard.
good.
Fuck me.
This movie's fine. It's very, very, very overrated in my books. I think it's a fine time at the movies, but it's not what people hoist it up to be. But not to yuck anyone's yum, why don't you tell us what's great about Inception?
Kind of feels really disingenuous now.
Jay, give it a go.
This is Nolan's second best film after The Prestige. I think this is a fantastic film. I think it's incredibly original and unique. I think the acting, directing, everything is fantastic. This blew me away in cinemas. I literally came out going, I really don't know what to do with myself now. I don't know if I want to go and eat something or whatever, because I'm not going to stop thinking about this for the next week. I think it's incredibly clever. This is a unique film, and Nolan is obviously a talented director, but a lot of his films, I think, have a coldness to them. He doesn't invest in character, particularly lately, where everything is sort of, things are getting larger and larger and larger, and Oppenheimer's a great example where there's a coldness to that film. It's technically incredibly proficient, but I came out of it going, I didn't invest in anyone really. Whereas I think DiCaprio's performance and the writing of that character, I am in 100% from the beginning to the end. He's flawed, incredibly flawed. He treats all of his team rather badly because he has this very selfish, but by the same token, his motivations are incredibly human and they're incredibly relatable, and it's all based on love. And I adore this film. I think it is almost faultless.
If there was a movie that was just on the cusp outside and first on my honorable mention, it is Inception. And I think for me, it may be too niche and like too fancy and too new of an idea for a heist that I was like, I'm going to keep it original. And at least with what the idea is there. But I think it's a great film. And I do love the idea of DiCaprio's character where it is all about love. And despite about it being all about love, and he might be stuck in something where he can find that love again, and it doesn't matter. Because again, you're left much with him not knowing, just as the audience is. And the debates,
if I was given the option of do I want to stay in a dream state with Marion Cotillard while my body wastes away in the real world, I'd hum and her for a while.
Sure. Why not?
Sounds pretty good.
Nice.
But yeah,
All right.
fantastic cast as well. I mean, it's where we first got I think the Hans Zimmer bong, which has become a little overused lately, but it was very effective then.
It was the start of the downfall of Hans Zimmer for me, sadly.
Oh God, okay.
People
Paul
forget that
Brazula
he did the score for the
unsubscribed.
Lion King, man, because now everyone just associates him with the bong, and it's like, oh, come off it. Get back to writing real music, Hans. Anyway.
Matata.
All right, well, Drew, your number 4, Inside Man, you said was one of those great examples of the heister walking out the front door. This is my version of that, although in this case it's limping out the front door. It is The Usual Suspects.
There we go.
Which I still think is a fantastic movie. Yes, you need to separate the art from the artist, and you have to do that double here because you've got both Spacey and Singer. But I still think this is an incredibly fun movie. I think the cast
5 out of
is
5, no
brilliant. I
notes
think
on the
there's
film.
Great chemistry. I
Which
think
is the
plot
heist? Are you
works.
talking? Are you like going onto the boat to steal a thing that's not there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning it.
You wouldn't call it a heist movie?
Oh no, I saw it on a lot of lists. I just when I thought about it, I was like, is there actually? Is it a heist? Yeah, but it is one of the few perfect films in this world. So yeah, not
Is it on
questioning
your list?
No, because it's not a heist.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
No, it is a heist. It's just a heist where I didn't think the heist was as central as the ones that I ended up with, but it's in my like 40 or 30 or whatever the hell I had. Because it's one of my favorite films of all time. It's one of my favorite films of all time, so I'm not going to question it.
All right, Drew, over to you. We're up to our number 2.
So we can skip me because the Heat.
Oh,
right. Excellent. Okay. All right, Dave, your number 2.
my number 2 is the greatest heist film of all time. But
it's your number 2 instead of your number 1.
All right, calm down. My number 1, I will explain when I get to it. But when you're talking about heist films, the greatest of all time is, without question, The Sting.
You mean the greatest con movie?
Yeah, I wouldn't call The Sting a heist movie. That's why
Really?
I didn't have it in my list. Yeah.
Why?
Because it's a con. It's not a heist.
Yeah. I don't think of it as a heist
it's
film.
a team coming together to pull off a robbery. Are you saying it's only a heist if you enter a building?
No.
Because
because
doesn't involve
they
it.
do enter a building because I mean at the very end where he's like, that's my money in there. No sir, we got to get you out.
Inception's a heist film, and you're not. They don't even get out of their chairs.
Okay, well, why don't you tell us about The Sting then?
The Sting, George Roy Hill, with Paul Newman and Robert Redford, the greatest duo of all time,
Yes.
teaming up again after Butch and Sundance, I think about 4 years earlier.
Mm-hmm. Maybe let's not mention movies that might make lists.
Oh, okay. Wow. I thought at number 2 I was safe to. Okay, but you've got Redford as the kind of young street grifter who's been picking pockets and things, and through machinations of the plot ends up under the tutelage of Henry Gondorff, played by Paul Newman, who is a big-time grifter, pulling what they call the long cons, where you get big money, but there's a lot more work and investment that goes into it. And this kind of really, unless my limited cinematic knowledge fails me, was the one that really set the path for those films. And then you've got everything all the way down to Will Smith mentoring Margot Robbie many years later.
Here's my question for you, because I love The Sting, and as I said, I didn't include it because I didn't think of it as a heist film. Another film that I love that did not make this list, would you have allowed Catch Me If You Can on this list?
I mean, it's not for me to allow, or it's not for me to allow or
it's not a
disallow.
heist film,
But
it's a con film. To me, it's
no, because it is a series of small time hustles. There's not one big
right, but I think at the same time
heist.
is a hustle like a heist. Now, to Dave's credit, with the Sting, it's much like Inception, because in the Sting, it's not necessarily the heist, but the manipulation of him handing over the money.
Yes.
In which in Inception, they are planting things in order for them to eventually give things away and give things up and divulge. So I can understand the mentality of why it's like a heist, but I mean, to me, it's primarily a con. But I get where he's coming from.
Same, yeah.
I'm sort of seeing
it's a fantastic film.
It's a
Oh,
Venn
no,
diagram.
100%. Yeah.
It's in the middle of the Venn diagram. The reason that to me it's a heist film is it ticks all the boxes of the heist film genre. It pulls together a team with the ultimate goal of stealing something.
Yeah.
And it all of their disparate skill sets are used in various ways to accomplish that. You have a mark, whether that mark is a bank or an individual or whatever. The structure of the film is a heist film.
Yeah.
It meets the criteria. I agree.
Yeah. So to me, it is a heist. It's just stealing from an individual.
Sure.
Rather than from, it's in much the same way as they're stealing from Terry Benedict in
Ocean's
11.
Yeah.
The only difference is Terry Benedict is the owner of the building that holds the money. In the case of the Sting, they are getting him to put his money in a place where they can steal it. But other than that, to me anyway, it felt similar. And plus, it's the Sting, and it's fucking great, and I love it.
100%.
I'm being facetious more than anything. Just
Iconic
kind of
soundtracks. Scott Joplin's the entertainer. It's jazzy. It's two of the most charismatic actors in history together again. With the same director as films that won't be mentioned, and
I'm pretty sure when we actually did the heist genre, like one of my two co-hosts chose The Sting, and we reviewed it as a heist film.
Yeah,
excellent.
Nice.
And we have Robert Shaw again.
Yeah. All right, my number 2 is, I think, an absolutely brilliant film. It is directed by a man who I think can do anything. He could play the shark in Jaws. He was the bomb in Phantoms. I'm going with The Town, which I love this movie, man. I think Affleck was on an absolute tear directing-wise. I mean, Gone Baby Gone into Argo, I think is one of
Argo's overrated, but yeah, it is his sweet spot career-wise.
For them being his first 3 directorial debuts, I just think is insane. I think The Town is such a good movie.
Fucking
obviously
great.
not on either of your lists because
shortlist. It's really fucking good. Is this the last mention of the Affleck for you?
Yes, it is.
What
the
actual fuck?
I don't have Reindeer Games
what
on my list.
The actual fuck?
If this was top 10 Christmas movies, Reindeer Games would be there.
There are long-term listeners of this show that have now driven their cars into trees.
All right, well, but here we are with our number 1s. So, Drew, why don't you kick us off?
Well, I mean, I think one of the best reveals is Kevin Spacey walking away as Kaiser Soze.
Nice. Excellent. Yep. So
I mean, the moment of just looking at the back wall and noticing everything and the coffee cup smashing.
The coffee cup.
That's the bit. It's the Kobayashi coffee.
I mean, just everything there, and you're just like, where'd he go? The cripple. Where's the cripple? Yeah,
and flash the fax machine coming out.
Yep.
And we don't even want to mention his name, and he never did anything even remotely this good again. But the direction on this film by the unmentionable is phenomenal. It kind of makes me think maybe there's a really, and I don't know who they are, but really fucking good cinematographer and editor on this, because nothing he directed again is even in this ballpark. I think he did Apt Pupil, which is a fine film. The X-Men films are all dog shit. They're terrible, Drew. Come on. Nothing he did after this has even an inkling of this genius. So I really suspect that maybe some of it came from other people in the crew. Maybe. It wouldn't be the first time that he was credited as the director and did fuck all on set and it was all done by other people.
Like Toby Hooper on Poltergeist.
Disagree. Hard disagree.
One of the greatest Spielberg films ever made.
Oh, it's so just. What are you doing? No, dude, that is not true.
Obviously, I agree with this film being on this list, Drew. So very nice. Dave,
Yep.
your number one.
My number one, and I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but if you haven't, you need to watch it straight after this, is a Phil Alden Robinson film called Sneakers.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah,
I've seen Sneakers,
Fun
yeah.
film.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm very much in the Robert Redford territory in my top two.
Yes, you are.
This is one of my favorite films of all time. It is one of the few perfect films in this world. It is a ensemble cast that is just a dream. That you look at it on paper and you think, well, that's not one film. You've just pulled people from all over the place. You've got Redford, you've got Sir Ben Kingsley, the greatest actor who's ever lived. You've got Dan Aykroyd, you've got River Phoenix, you've got Sidney Poitier, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
It is just David Strathairn, who is just incredible in this film. The score is amazing. The script is incredible. There is so much clever, witty banter between these kind of very different actors who all gel so perfectly in this film. It is just a joy from start to finish, and it is so the actual heist part, which is a significant portion of the movie, is edge of your seat stuff. You've got Redford having to navigate through this room that has temperature sensors and motion sensors, so he has to move slowly, but then he's got his team in his ear going, someone's coming down the hall, you need to move fast. And he's there going, the one thing I can't do. It's so good. So good.
Nice. Good call.
I'm glad both of you have seen it. So many people I talk to have never even heard of this film.
Oh, no, it's
Which
a pretty
I find-
well-known movie.
Yeah, it's well
Oh,
done.
you'd be surprised. I have encountered so many people who watch a lot of films who have never even heard of it. It's just sort of slipped off the radar. So any chance to champion it. It's not as classic a film as The Sting, which is why I sort of said that I think that's the best heist film ever. But to me, this is my favorite heist film.
Nice. Well, for my number one, we're sticking with Robert Redford because, as I alluded to, I think, honestly, a perfect film is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Robert Redford and
good.
Paul Newman are so
Great.
brilliant in this film. They have such amazing chemistry. They're both so fucking handsome. I am a massive William Goldman fan. And
I was going to say it's not a We Watch the Thing episode if we don't mention Bill Goldman at some point.
I think, my favorite film of all time is The Princess Bride. I think he's an incredible writer, and I think that this film is written so well. The music by Burt Bacharach, it's a perfect film. There's nothing to fault
that
about
song and that scene with the bicycle is just
The only thing
to
you
have
could
that
fault
in a
about this
Western
film-
heist film. To have just go,
Yes.
we're going to stop and just cycle around a meadow for a while we play Burt Bacharach, and it's not going to feel out of place.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
The only reason I think you guys could justify not having this on your lists is whether or not you count it as a heist film, because there is no big kind of one central. The ending to this film is just incredible.
Oh, it's iconic.
One of the
Absolutely
greatest
iconic.
endings of all time. So there we go. That's my number one. Did you guys want to run down any very quick honorable mentions before we get over to listener feedback?
I have some.
Yeah, I got a few.
Drew, you're the guest.
Okay, sure. So I don't think any list would be complete for me without mentioning something that is horror related. And I think it's a bit of a stretch, but since it is still central to our main protagonist, the Collector is technically a heist film. But two different people are trying to heist two different things.
Yeah.
Now, it's completely a stretch of the imagination how that guy set up that house in that amount of time.
Nothing about these films makes sense.
No. But we smile and nod. We smile and nod, and we enjoy.
It's an excuse for glorious Rube Goldberg death scenes,
Right.
which are fantastic. Is there a third film, or is that still in the ether?
So supposedly, we have the Collector, the Collection, and the Collected is going to be the third. Supposedly, it's finally happening.
Oh, it is now, because that's been in the ether for quite a while.
Yeah,
now.
it's been floating around. I don't know. I mean, I saw something that it was going to be actually happening. So I mean, fingers crossed. Hopefully,
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'm
so
here
am
for
I.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was it. That's
Oh, no, no.
all your
I thought
honorables?
we were going to go back and forth. I mean, I have a few more. Like, 1955 is To Catch a Thief, because everyone likes a good romantic, aspect to their heist. And
I'm quite. Yeah, I'm a fairly straight man, but Cary Grant back in that era.
That's fine. No, there is nothing wrong with that. I wholeheartedly agree.
People mock high-waisted pants, but man, he could rock the shit out of them.
No. To Catch a Thief, 78's The Great Train Robbery, I think is just outstanding.
Nice. And Sutherland, Connery and Sutherland together.
Yeah, yes,
so good.
And then, I didn't have it on my list, but I do enjoy the Thomas Crown Affair remake. I think that's fun with Brosnan. The remake is good. The original, as you said, is top. But yeah.
No, I don't hate that. All right, what did I have? Hell or High Water.
Good.
Really good.
You have the unification to try and save the farm. Yeah.
Anything that has what's his name? Taylor? Is it Taylor Sheridan? Who wrote it?
Sheridan.
I think it's Taylor Sheridan. It's
Yeah.
Taylor something. I think it's Taylor Sheridan. Should have checked it. I probably sound silly. He just never puts a foot wrong. Anything he writes is fucking top notch, and that was a hugely underrated film. That it was in my top 5 of the year, I think, and a few people were similar, this is the best thing of the year, but a lot of people had just hadn't heard of it. Rogue One I had, Lavender Hill Mob, Ealing Comedies, which we've been speaking about recently with Kind Hearts and Coronets, Alec Guinness and Stanley Holloway, Sid James, this cadre of fantastic British actors, basically in the first heist movie, really, late 40s, early 50s, it would have been for Lavender Hill Mob. But as we saw later with the Italian Job, this fantastically orchestrated pulling together of a team in this clever heist where they steal this gold, melt it down, form it into Eiffel Tower souvenirs, ship them over to France, and things come asunder. Classic. Similarly, League of Gentlemen, which was one of my favourite films growing up, which is another one of those British films that has just Jack Hawkins, fucking everyone in it. It's a who's who of British actors at that time, and concerns all of these ex-servicemen who kind of got the shits that after risking their lives for king and country, they forgotten. And so they decide to put all of their military expertise to good use and rob a bank. And the Jack Hawkins is the kind of mastermind. His sensibility is how, in a country where the cops don't have guns, how can a bunch of trained military personnel not successfully rob a bank? And so they steal military ordnance and guns and things in a mini heist, and then you've got the bank heist, and it's one of those ones where it's this, much like The Great Escape, it's like a who's who cast, and sort of everyone gets their time in the spotlight. It's a fantastic film. First Now You See Me, the best of those films, even though Billy, all 3 of them are great. Sexy Beast, which I thought might crop up on someone's list. Ray Winston and, again, Sir Ben Kingsley, both delivering powerhouse performances, and gave us the immortal, no, you made me look a right cunt, which is one of the greatest lines in movie history. Michael Mann's Thief almost made my list with Jimmy Caan, a fantastic film. A Mario Bava film, which I'm a huge fan of, called Danger Diabolique, which is a very stylish 60s film about a master thief who is being chased around and has this massive heist. Very stylish. And
last one, Dave. You said 20 and you've spoken for 3 minutes about all of them.
And I had the original Ocean's 11. So, yeah, whatever.
Nice. The only extra one I had written down was Snatch before I realized that was 11 films, not 10. Over to the Facebook listener community.
I don't have that open. I'm glad you do.
That's right, I do, yeah. Paul Prezula, who also used to be on Time to Die with us, said Usual Suspects is number 1. All other numbers are 2 or lower. So celebrating the number 2s, Reservoir Dogs, Baby Driver, The Sting, and the remake of the Thomas Crown Affair. So a couple that have already been mentioned there.
Fucking seriously. There's someone who hasn't seen the original Thomas Crown Affair.
Liz Yerby, also previously from Time to Die, said St.
Stop saying previously.
Well, hopefully it comes back. I don't know.
We were letting Drew finish a master's. Do you have a master's, Billy?
No, I don't.
It takes time.
Absolute legend Josh Ragland said...
What did Liz have?
Just St. Trinians.
Oh, nice. Oh, big fan. Gemma Artisan.
Josh Ragland had the original taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
Rogue One, The Usual Suspects. Sadly, the second mentioned of Baby Driver, a not very good film. And Reservoir Dogs as his number 1. Julio from the Contrarians podcast said jumping in the car to make Billy mad and just posted a gif of Baby Driver.
Are you seeing a pattern?
Luke James Human, another absolute legend, long-time listener of the show, had The Town, yes, The Getaway from 1994.
Oh,
and
Alan
The Hard
McGraw.
Word.
And Steve McQueen again. I did say there were a few McQueen films I could have.
Chris Yeaney said underseen classic film Rafifi. So you'll be happy
Attaboy,
with him,
Yeaney.
Dave. Smiley Salmani said The Italian Job Original, The Sting,
Nice.
The
Nice.
First Great Train Robbery, and A Fish Called Wanda. That's a film that should have been on my list if I'd taken
Fuck yeah.
more than 20 minutes to make it.
What goes with chips, Ken?
Kelly Kearns Brockington finally said The Italian Job, both versions. Does that count as 1 or 2? Ocean's 11, remake only. Original was horrible. Ronin, The Sting, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. That's a good film. Yeah, Bandits.
Oh,
Thomas
that
Crown
is
Affair.
a con film, isn't it?
That's
a con
definitely
film.
a con.
Yeah.
The Thomas Crown Affair, again, both versions are great. The Dirty Dozen, not really a heist movie, but group with final objective.
Is it you've got a pulling together of a team, infiltrating a place with an objective. The fact that the objective is to kill someone, not to steal something, is that enough to make it not a heist film in terms of the film genre, not the literal definition of the word heist?
Have to be part of the...
They're stealing lives.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's like sitting here and saying...
In the case of one character, I tell Valis they're stealing virginity, possibly.
Oh, my gosh. But I mean, that's kind of like looking at like the Wild Bunch and going, "Hey, heist film," but it's more like we have one last.
It's a Western heist film.
Hurrah!
That's in my Wild Bunch was in my 40 as a Western heist film,
or even Kelly's Heroes.
Yeah, 100% a heist film. Kelly's Heroes.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's it. So thank you, everybody, for contributing your thoughts. And Drew,
Indeed.
thank you very much for taking the time to join us here and Count This Down. This has been a lot of fun. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Oh, good
On
lord!
Time to Die at Dungeons and Dragons.
On Time to Die. Since I had taken a little break and a hiatus to get my master's and whatnot, you can still find the Real Feels podcast anywhere that you can find podcast playing apps, and we'd love to fill your ear holes. It is myself, my friends Jack and Nathan, where we review a different movie of a different genre when we're on time every 2 weeks. And yeah, we'd love to sit back and just kind of BS and talk about movies.
Speaking for Billy, as I'm sure he would agree, regularity is highly overrated in podcasting. Quality is what's important, not hitting a specific day of the week.
It used to be. It used to be.
Yes, it used to be for us too. Speaking of regularity, I'm not going to say what we're doing next week because I don't know order-wise whether it's something we've already recorded or... But anyway, we will be back next week with something, probably. So in the meantime, if you want to get in touch with us, you can do that at pottymouthradio.com or pottymouthradio@gmail.com. Go join the Facebook listener community where you can have your say on topics like this, and we'll catch you next week.
We sure will.